got on the radio, told everybody, halt, shots fired, and we never thought this would happen here.
Scary moments in LeRoy. Police say a man kills his neighbor, sets fire to his own home, then shoots at responding firefighters. Just a couple of hours ago, in fact, the suspect was arraigned in town court. I'm Scott Kilberry.
I'm Janet Lomax. We have new video of the suspect. Investigators say he's 53-year-old Kyle Johnson of LeRoy. He's been charged with murder in the death of 69-year-old Norman Ball. Now, the two lived just tenths of a mile from each other. We're told Ball went by Don, owned his own business, and was a father and grandfather. All of this starting around 4 o'clock this morning on Selden Road in the town of LeRoy.
We have team coverage following all of the developments in this story. Rebecca Fath will bring us more about Don Ball coming up in just a few minutes. But first, we want to go to Brett Davidson. He's live at the LeRoy Town Court. And Brett, what happened in the arraignment today?
Well, Janet, the suspect, 53-year-old Kyle Johnson, was arraigned this afternoon here in LeRoy Town Court on an assortment of charges, including murder and arson. What investigators are not revealing at this point is the reason for the fatal shooting, which then led to a tense 4-hour standoff. Kyle Johnson had nothing to say as he was brought into court this afternoon. He's accused of shooting to death his neighbor, setting his own home on fire, then daring police to kill him during a 4-hour standoff on Selden Road in the town of LeRoy.
In my mind, in my opinion, he wanted suicide by cop.
The sheriff says Johnson walked into the unlocked home of 69-year-old Norman Don Ball just before 4 o'clock this morning, armed with a shotgun.
The suspect then went downstairs to a downstairs bedroom where the victim was sleeping, and he shot him with a 12-gauge shotgun, and then he fled the scene on foot.
Police say Johnson then went back to his own home and torched it. When firefighters arrived, apparently unaware of the shooting, officials say Johnson was in his driveway with his shotgun and fired in the direction of firefighters and police. They were not injured and evacuated the area. Becky Spezzano and John Marcello live next door to Johnson and were awakened by the gunshots and the fire.
We came out to see it, and that's when a sheriff came running across our front yard and said, "Get back inside, there's an active shooter."
As Johnson paced back and forth in front of his burning house, police tried to get him to give himself up. Instead, the sheriff says he refused, even charging at the armored SWAT vehicle before backing off.
There were several commands for him to drop the weapon and surrender. And from what I understand, that at one point in time, he did put down the gun, and the SWAT members rushed him and took him into custody.
Marcello captured this video with his phone prior to Johnson's surrender, which shows the armed suspect walking past an unoccupied sheriff's vehicle as police shout commands at him.
He was kind of taunting them, and they were telling him to put the gun down, and he's like, "Just shoot me," or, you know,
"What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?" type thing, and just, you know, was ready to go. It looked like a suicide mission.
And while we don't have confirmation at this point about a possible motive, we do know a little bit more about Kyle Johnson tonight. Neighbors say he was going through a divorce. His home was also in the process of being foreclosed on. The sheriff also confirms that he had prior mental health issues. He's now being held without bail. He is set to return here to LeRoy Town Court on Friday. We're live in LeRoy. Brett Davidson, News 10 NBC.
All right, Brett, thank you for that.